Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
Cosa l'ha spinto a scegliere questa carriera?
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
You will obtain nothing from me by flattery, my young colleague.
Oh, I was not flattering you, sir. Not at all. Just clumsily expressing my sincere admiration.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
Ha bisogno di aiuto?
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time. You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True, true. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Ok, abbiamo scoperto altre cose su questo luogo, sui nostri colleghi. Credo di aver parlato praticamente con tutti. Anche con i pazienti si può parlare. Interessante.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
No, vabbè. Ero solo curioso di provarlo.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Allora. Vediamo un po'. Fascinazione quindi ci permette di farla direttamente. Check-up medico, qualità del sangue 500, ma sinceramente non... se ho bisogno di sangue vorrei evitare di farlo all'ospedale, o comunque per il momento non ho ancora motivo di farlo.
Is there anything else that's bothering you? Can I help in any way?
I'm all right. Considering the state of this place, I should consider myself lucky, I guess.
Allora, iniziamo a fargli un po' di domande. Giustamente niente. Allora, vediamo
Tell
un
me
po' chi
about the
sta lavorando
doctors who
sul
are
caso.
arguing about your case.
Strickland and Aykroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Mi parli di sé.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Riguardo all'ospedale, cosa
Are
vuol
you
dire?
satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable, and your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies. Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
Ok.
Reads me like a book.
But in circumstances,
Quindi per adesso diciamo che può essere una semplice vittima sacrificale per i nostri bisogni.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Aykroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Aykroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
E tu sei un po' stronzo. Quindi, domande personali. Ho già provato quanto valgo come medico.
I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Aykroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
Allora, tu sei un po' stronzetto, però diciamo che essendo in guerra e tra il poter salvare le persone e non salvarle comunque guadagnare qualcosa, direi il sapere è la nostra arma principale.
Knowledge has always been and will remain our main weapon, and it has always come at a price. And personal initiative.
It is not a question of initiative, it is a question of integrity. These men and women have put their faith in us, Dr. Reed.
E noi li cureremo.
It seems you have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Aykroyd.
Allora, quello che dice è giusto, e il come lo dice che mi fa incazzare. Però, parliamo un po'. Ok, quindi c'è già un inizio sbloccato. Però, hai un problema con me?
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Aykroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
Lo minacciamo? Però dai. Siamo l'ultimo arrivato, dai, prendiamola così.
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital instead of a burden.
Cosa mi sa dire Super Bro?
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
Perché vuole essere a capo di questa operazione?
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
Si assumerà le conseguenze. Non so che tipo di intervento possa avere, cioè se ha un braccio rotto e glielo vuole tagliare mi sembra un po' da stronzi, ma se c'ha qualcosa di peggio facciamo.
If you are going to lead this surgery, I'm trusting you to assume the consequences of your actions, whatever the result.
I'm not the kind of man who runs away from his responsibilities, Dr. Reed. There is no need for you to be looking over my shoulder.
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
Ok.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Quindi abbiamo lo stronzo che è il dottore all'antica e il ragazzo giovane che vuole sperimentare nuove modalità. Purtroppo io i nomi tra qualche ora me li sarò già dimenticati. Parliamo con la macellaia.
What can I do for you, Doctor?
Ok,
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
la signorina Crane sembrava diversa all'inizio. Questo
Come now, we can handle this.
Sono contento che si spostino comunque da un senso di vita, quanto quasi tutti qua dentro stiano morendo. Questa signorina.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Quindi il cerchio si restringe. Si restringe.
I'm all right.
Quindi
Don't waste your time with me.
Quindi tutte le storie iniziano a raggrupparsi, a chiudersi. La signorina ha pagato, la signora ha pagato per un letto perché c'è l'infermiera insieme al dottore che chiedono soldi per un posto. E adesso vediamo un po' cosa ha da dire il signore con le adorabili ciabatte.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No,
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful, I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me. She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but rest assured you're in good hands here.
It's not me you have to convince, Dr. Reed. It's my mother.
Non abbiamo scoperto niente.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
E se io riparlo con la madre?
Doctor.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Niente.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Quindi non abbiamo ancora indizi a sufficienza per scoprire che cosa è successo al figlio. A questo punto direi che sono abbastanza convinto di aver parlato con tutti. Facciamo un ultimo giro di esplorazione. Il cavolo, ho parlato con tutti.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
Vediamo un po'.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Perché Milton è così scontroso?
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Ok, da quanto tempo fa l'infermiera?
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
Vabbè, noi siamo solo nuovo. Però diciamo che
You'd be surprised what dedication can achieve, Nurse Hawkins. In medicine, sometimes we're just a test result away from a miracle.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
come la situazione qui la sappiamo già, però magari ci danno qualche...
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
Sì, diamo un contento, signorina.
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
Non durerà per sempre.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
Ah, ottimista la ragazza. Ok,
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
quindi abbiamo scoperto un altro dettaglio anche sull'autista.
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research.
Sì, però lo facciamo ancora. Rimaniamo ancora un po' nascosti. E questo dovrebbe essere l'autista.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
Allora, riconsegniamolo il portafoglio.
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet, with all the money, and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin color that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway. To remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody is as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reed.
Ok, quindi la signorina con il nome abbastanza curioso e la ragazza dell'autista. Questa cosa non ce l'ha detta. Aspettiamo un attimo, vediamo un po'. Contrabbanda armi.
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns to civilians.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
Vediamo un po' della sua reputazione.
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reed.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
Ok. E vediamo un po' adesso. No, sto facendo denaro, lo teniamo per ultimo.
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit. Tired of all those corpses piling up. She's as depressed as I am.
Però potreste di essere licenziati.
You do realize you could both get fired. Hospital staff are not meant to have intimate relationships with one another.
Come on, Dr. Reed. Do you know how many rules are broken in this hospital every day just to keep it running? There's nothing wrong with what we're doing.
Uniti dalla disperazione.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together in difficult circumstances. It can be very damaging.
Maybe you're right. But we support each other. And that's all that matters.
Okay. Però a sto punto si sa che la tua ragazza è complice.
Admit it. Nurse Hawkins is more than your lover. She's also your partner in crime.
Of course she is. How else could I tell which bed is free? I need to know that.
Have you no shame?
Don't you see this city is crumbling down? Today people are ready to pay to get a hospital bed. Tomorrow we may be fighting for food.
E quindi stai facendo denaro.
Tell me why you're extorting money from some of the patients here.
If a patient wants a bed, he'll have to pay me a little fee. That's all.
Where did you get the idea for such an immoral scam?
Funny you should ask. The first time it was from a patient who bribed me to get a bed. It's only then I realized I could make a fortune.
E vediamo un po' allora che cos'è da vendere.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Proiettili, bossoli, parte di una impugnatura normale, grilletto, ok. Quanto costa? 9, vabbè di alluminio. Ma no, perfetto, volevo solo vedere cosa da vendere. Quindi, abbiamo completato la nostra missione. Abbiamo scoperto che il signor Milton e la signorina Pippa si frequentano e truffano le persone. Però questa cosa non ha sbloccato altri indizi per il momento. Poi riproverò a parlare con qualcun altro. Tu sei la signora Pippa, ok. Vediamo se c'è qualcun altro. Pazienti malati. Tu sei la signora Pippa. E questo qua. Il signor William.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it?
Perché lo continuo a
Oh,
chiamare
Sora, I
William?
must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
Come si sente?
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
Si è fatto degli amici?
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Cosa farà la vita sarà reverendo.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
È un prete?
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Perché non hai usato quella croce contro William?
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place, and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the dockers' trade union. The wet boot boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
Da questa conversazione quindi abbiamo scoperto che la croce del signor Swansea ha dei poteri particolari, visto che ci ha respinto, mentre quella del signor Sean William non ha nessun tipo di potere. Quindi il signor Sean Quindi il signor Swansea ci sta nascondendo qualcosa. Bene, come vedete cambio maglia, è successo un patatrack, mi sono versato addosso l'acqua E proseguiamo allora, sperando che non ci siano altri problemi.
Fear and disgust.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
Soldier, do you need assistance?
I'm fine. Just do something for this pain, will you? That's all I'm asking.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Won't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin.
Allora,
Goodbye for now, Mr.
vediamo invece la tipa anemica.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
Il disturbo, ma questo episodio è maledetto, quasi quanto il nostro personaggio. Adesso la macchinetta per registrare ha voluto fare i cazzi suoi e mi ha smerdato completamente l'audio. Ho provato a recuperarlo, ma è stato completamente inutile tutto il lavoro. E per evitare che io distruggessi tutto, ho eliminato questa parte. Quindi l'audio tornerà a breve, ma intanto questa rottura di coglioni c'è stata. Grazie. Signora Pippa. Io veramente non credo che nel 1918 ci fossero problemi di nome, ma Pippa mi sembra un po' curioso come nome. Ok, e abbiamo sbloccato le porte che danno all'esterno, che si chiudono anche da sole. A sto punto direi che possiamo andare verso il nostro ufficio e ci avviamo anche alla conclusione di questo lunghissimo episodio. Abbiamo scoperto molto di più su questo luogo, sui pazienti, su chi ci lavora. Perfetto, rubiamo strumenti di morte. Fascicolo medico di Elwood. Thomas Elwood, maschio, 28 anni. Medico curante, il dottor Teppez. La faccia del paziente è stata gravemente bruciata e sfigurata da una bomba durante la guerra. Ok, quindi stiamo parlando del signore a cui gli è scoppiata la granata in faccia. Anche con l'uso dei nostri sedativi più forti afferma di sopportare regolarmente il dolore acuto causato dalle ferite, come se, a sua detta, le fiamme stessero ancora bruciando sotto la pelle. L'esame del tessuto cicatrizzato non mostra tracce di infiammazioni, infezione o gonfiore. Le cicatrici sono pulite. Potrebbe trattarsi di danni permanenti ai nervi. Il paziente non smette mai di darsi la colpa per la sua deturpazione. Potrebbe trattarsi di un caso di sindrome del sopravvissuto, che i dolori fantasma si manifestino come punizione per non essere morto con i suoi compagni. Oppure sta semplicemente fingendo e vuole le droghe. Come non è cambiata la storia in 100 anni. Dottor Tippez, Dottor Stickland e Dottor Ackroyd. Quindi questo non è il nostro ufficio. Dottor Reed, questo è il nostro ufficio. Ultimo giretto di esplorazione. Direi che c'è ancora troppo da guardare qui in zona. Dottor Swansea. Va bene, ok. Andiamo a concludere l'episodio.
This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
Penso che se la chiedi te la possiamo far portare a una bella barca. Questa nota penso che la leggerò nel prossimo episodio. Direi che questa puntata si conclude con una discreta esplorazione, se posso permettermi. E c'è ancora un sacco da fare. C'è ancora tutto il piano superiore da esplorare. Fatemi sapere cosa ve ne pare di questo gioco, perché a me sta piacendo. Non smetterò mai di ripeterlo. Ed è strano perché comunque non sono titoli che normalmente mi garbano. Però il fatto di aver mischiato un po' di sana esplorazione, combattimento, e la trama comunque per adesso vabbè non è decollata, posso essere contento. Quindi arrivederci a tutti, alla prossima e ciao!